Hello everybody, I would like to present you my SPC I chart, which is able to work with many characteristics, many data for different machines and many products, and finally is able to show all 8 SPC tests. I will change to a different dataset. Okay, I need to click. As you can see, the chart was adjusted automatically. The points marked red. And with numbers from 1 to 8 denote that there are some problems with the process. It shows out of control conditions. I will change to another preferred predefined dataset. As you can see, there are no red points here. Everything looks like under control. If you are still interested, I will show you how to get the file, configure it, and add data and use for ongoing production process control. Basically, in this file you can keep data for few thousands of charts. The tool was created for real case. I had to introduce SPC, means statistical process control, in 3 plants, so production facilities. In those plants there wasn't used any statistical software like Minitab, nor manufacturing execution system. The only option left was Excel. How to get the SPC I chart file? Please go to your browser and then write the address LeanSigma.pl. Don't worry, the web page is in Polish by default, but you can switch to English. Then you go to Publications and Tools, and finally you have to select the SPC chart of individual observations, called also I chart. You have to agree with terms of use. Select here, confirm. You can download the file. And this is how the file looks like. Before you start to use the file, I strongly recommend to read carefully explanation, which is in explanation sheet. This Excel tool contains macros which must be enabled if you want to use full functionality of SPC chart. Second, this type of SPC diagram should be used for individual values. For example, you gather one sample every 30 minutes and the sample size is 1. Please consider that there are other types of SPC charts for other cases. Imagine you have to support production regarding SPC. You have several production lines, machines, stations. In addition, you have like maybe even hundreds of references, products, and for each reference there is different specification. In such case, the idea to have a separate diagram for each characteristic is not effective. My solution is following. You need to provide product names and specifications. You name the characteristics you want to measure, and then you have to name lines or machines or stations. And also, for correctness of time format, you should select date and time format. It seems to be a little complicated, but it's very simple and takes not more than 2 minutes. Let me show you. I'm selecting sheet products. There are 3 predefined products. I strongly recommend to keep them for trainings of SPC. you have to enter new product. Let's say product number A, then product name product A. Then you should put lower specification limit, let's say 4, upper specification limit, let's say 6, and expected value, which in this case it should be in the middle, so in this case it should be 5. Similarly, I will add also second product, let's say product B, product B, expected value 10, lower specification limit 8, upper specification limit 12. Okay, now I can go to measures and time. Okay, I want to measure volume, so it's already defined. I do not need to change it. Data and time format is used to describe labels of x-axis. So please add the format if you use different format in your language. Finally, we need to add the name of the lines or machines. Please keep the name all, and I will add just the name L1 like line 1. And that's it regarding settings. You can always add new products and lines or characteristics gradually later. Okay, now I'm back in the input sheet. There are two sections to create SPC chart. On the right, this section is used for historical data. On the left, the section is used for ongoing process control. You just select product, okay, product A, then you select the line, okay, it's L1, and finally you need just to enter new data, let's say 3. This Excel file is very useful if you can conduct SPC on production station or check station or quality station. For example, you just enter one data every 10 minutes or every 30 minutes. You don't need to care about specifications and control limits. Let's check. I entered 3 and there is a warning that you do not have enough data to generate correct chart, because the I chart uses moving range for standard deviation estimation, and standard deviation is used for control limits calculations, and for moving range one needs 2 data at minimum. Okay, so we have to confirm. I will add new data like 3.5, which is outside specification limits. And indeed, you see the warning about this. And now you see first 2 data. Both data are marked red and with description OOS, like out of specification, out of spec. Why they are marked red? Because by default the out of spec test is switched on. I will switch it off. And I will enter now value 4.5. As you can see, now there are 3 points on the chart. None of them is marked because I switched out of spec test off. I will switch it on again. But the chart will refresh after entering new data. I'm entering few new data, always confirming with button. I will enter 6. Sorry, 6. And 6.1. there is a warning endpoint is marked red. Yes, because out of spec and test number 5, because we see here 5. I think now is the time to speak about SPC tests. You can find the definition of SPC tests in various manuals for statistical software. Those particular definitions are taken from Minitab. Each test can be switched on and off. And for each one can change K parameter. Let's check what is test number 1. Means the most important one. Test 1 is when the point is more than 3 sigma standard deviation from the mean, so average value, where K is 3 and it should not be changed. Let's check what is test number 5. The test 5, or in other words the rule 5, is violated when there are too many consecutive points on the same side of the mean and above 2 sigma. You can wonder where the data are stored and if the tests are interpreted correctly by my program. Let's check. The points are stored in database sheet. I will mark them and copy to Minitab. I will create now a SPC chart in Minitab. I have to switch on all tests. Click OK and OK. And indeed, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, and the point number 5 is marked red, exactly like in my SPC chart. I would like to show you violation of rule 1, so how the test 1 is working. As you can imagine, I should enter data which is far from the current average. Let's try to enter 8.5. Okay. Okay, let's say I have to confirm. Yes. As I was thinking, there is one point marked red with number 1. And the point is outside the red limits. This one and this one. Where this one is minus 3 sigma from the mean, and this is 3 sigma plus 3 sigma from the mean. Now you can wonder where is the point marked 5 is gone. Why? Because by adding extremely remote point 8.5 we moved average value and increased standard deviation. So now the previous point is not 2 sigma far from average, but it's around 1 sigma from the mean. Let's check how Minitab is showing the data. I will again copy the data, go to Minitab, okay, and I will refresh diagram. As you can see, there is only one point red marked with 1. Exactly like in my Excel, except my Excel file is also marking points out of specification. Minitab can mark points out of control but not out of specification. And now, just for comparison, I would like to add product B to show you how this goes, how quick. Product B, let's say the same machine. I'm entering now 10.1. Okay, there is a warning about too few data, right? Now the next point is 10. Okay, next point is 7.9, and okay, it's outside the specification, correct. Now 10.4 of, let's say, 5. Okay, and finally 14. Again, the warning. Right, so I have two warnings, out of spec and here out of spec. Just as a reminder, if you want only to see data without entering new data, you have to select the section on the right. Let's see what was the product A without adding any data. Okay, it was product A. And what was product B? Okay, exactly. Finally, I would like to explain last two options. If you continue SPC for months, you can have thousands of data, and showing all of them on one chart not always have sense. Because the program was developed to show ongoing production control, mainly, one can limit the number of data to the last ones, like last 30 data or last 100 data. I need to go to option use the last X data, so this is this one, and I will select 3, and here, and as you see, it's just 3 points, 1, 2, 3 points. I will show you something is wrong with the format. Do you see? This is because of regional settings. I have Polish settings and this is the English format. I need to change it. As you can see now, the format is now correct. And the last point of my presentation is to show you again the most interesting data. It's called Test SPC, but with all data. I think now you better understand why this data can be used for SPC trainings. You see all red points marked with 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, and out of spec. And now you should understand better why. Please leave your comment on YouTube or on my webpage. On my webpage you can leave the comments here. And you can also contact me sending a question or a suggestion using this contact form. Thank you very much for your attention and enjoy the usage of the tool.